They are shielding, they are protecting, they're the biggest donors to the Joe Biden presidential campaign and all things radical democratic socialist. But the president likes to say the truth is a force of nature. And tonight, Joe Biden felt the full force of truth during this debate. Take a look.
Joe got $3.5 million from Russia, and it came through Putin because he was very friendly with the former mayor of Moscow, and it was the mayor of Moscow's wife, and you got $3.5 million.
I bet he was friendly with her.
But you were getting a lot of money from Russia.
But he was necking
a lot
her.
of money, and they probably still are. But now, with what came out today, it's even worse. All of the emails, the horrible emails of the kind of money that you were raking in, you and your family. And Joe, you were vice president when some of this was happening, and it should have never happened. And I think you owe an explanation to the American people.
Remember, Joe also leveraged the billion taxpayer dollars when he said, you're not getting the billion unless you fire a Ukrainian prosecutor who was investigating his son, Hunter, who made millions of dollars with no experience in oil, energy, gas, or Ukraine. Now we have a Russian oligarch with wire transfers. President's right, $3.5 million as chronicled in the Grassley-Johnson report. Then, of course, we have the Kazakh oligarch and the wire transfer for a new car. And then, of course, we have the $1.5 billion deal with the Bank of China 10 days after Joe Biden
smoked cocaine.
And Hunter's along for the ride.
Of young Asians.
To the next Biden line tonight. What he wants you to believe is there was nothing inappropriate, nothing unethical while he's vice president of his family's international pay-for-play schemes. That would be with Ukraine, Kazakhstan, Russia, China, all of them. Take a look.
No basis for that. Everybody investigated that. No one said anything he did was wrong in Ukraine.
No, a lot of us point that out. Really, Joe, you want to lie to our faces? Because the Biden family received $3.5 million a transfer from the corrupt Russian oligarch, the First Lady of Moscow. They received nearly $5 million from a state-backed Chinese company.
Everybody went Chung tonight, $100,000
for a shopping spree, compliments of a prominent Chinese national. They got the $1.5 billion from the Bank of China.
Well, that's a lot of money.
The charge is there, and Hunter's company got another $100,000 from the Kazakh oligarch earmarked for the new car. All told, zero experience, Hunter Biden and his family.
Whoa.
Two of his partners now. One is in jail, and the other one is a convicted criminal about to be sentenced to jail. His family made at least $10 million from sketchy foreign nationals while Joe was vice president. And Joe lied all night.
Wow, that's a lot of money.
Scratching the surface. And the worst part is Joe isn't even directly denying any of these claims. Instead, he wants you to believe it's part of another Russian disinformation campaign, which, by the way, the FBI, DOJ, Director of National Intelligence said is false. Moments ago, the president called them out. Take a look.
There are 50 former national intelligence folks who said that what he's accusing me of is a Russian plan. They have said that this has all the five former heads of the CIA,
swampy swamps,
parties,
like
what
Brennan.
he's saying is a bunch of garbage. Nobody believes it except his and his good friend Rudy Giuliani.
You mean the laptop is now another Russia hoax?
And that's exactly what.
Is this where you're going? This is where he's going. The laptop is Russia.
Gentlemen, I want to stay on the issue of race.
You have to be kidding. Here we go again with Russia.
Elise Stefanik just tweeted out, every single witness during the impeachment hearings testified Hunter serving on the board of Burisma was a conflict of interest, or at least the appearance. I know because I asked each and every one. Now, President Trump's special guest tonight at the debate was a retired Navy lieutenant, and his name is Tony Bobulinski. Mr. Bobulinski was a former associate of Hunter Biden, now blowing the whistle on the entire Biden cabal. Now, pay attention to this, because a lot of news organizations didn't want to cover this. Take a look.
Yep.
Biden saying that he's never discussed business with Hunter. That is false. I have first-hand knowledge about this because I directly dealt with the Biden family, including Joe Biden. I have also heard that Vice President Biden said on Tuesday that Senator Ron Johnson, the chair of the Senate Homeland Security Committee, should be ashamed for suggesting the Biden family sought to profit from their name. Well, here are the facts I know, and everything I'm saying is corroborated by emails, WhatsApp chats, agreements, documents, and other evidence.
Whoa.
Now, he also pointed out he's got all the evidence. He's got all the emails, all the text messages, 3 phones.
Busted.
Before the Senate Committee of Ron Johnson
Joe
and Charles
Biden's
Grassley.
busted.
MSNBC, fake news, CNN, ABC, CBS, NBC, no major media outlet except Fox took that breaking news conference live as it happened. NPR, by the way, funded with your tax dollars in part, announced they won't be covering any of the Biden corruption scandal at all because it's, quote, a waste of time.
Whoa.
Now, imagine if it was Eric Trump or Donald Trump Jr. getting $3.5 million while their dad is president.
Yeah, they wouldn't say it's a waste of time.
Getting money from a Kazakh oligarch.
They'd be all up on that.
Energy company
Like white on rice.
at all. Getting a $1.5 billion deal with the Bank of China after President Trump traveled to China.
They'd be all
10
over
days
that.
later, the media mob completely in the tank for Joe Biden, just like big tech, just like social media corporations. They're not even trying to hide it at this point. And by the way, what we just saw from Tony Bobulinski is not just talk, because early this morning, he produced all the corroborating evidence, including all of the texts, all of the emails, showing Joe Biden's deep involvement in his son's sketchy international schemes while he was vice president. All that evidence we now know is in the hands of the FBI. He's also set to meet with the Senate Homeland Security Chairman, Ron Johnson. And according to Bobulinski, quote, Hunter Biden called his dad the big guy, or Mr. Chairman, or my chairman, frequently referenced asking him for his sign-off on various deals or potential deals, and this was especially true in China. How would somebody with no experience, private equity, get a $1 billion deal 10 days after he travels with his father, the vice president, to China? In one exchange text, Hunter Biden was asked, well, what type of Chinese business deals would he be pursuing? Hunter responds, quote, everything. The only thing I told him I would not do is defense-related technology and arms and anything that would give the Chinese military an advantage. Everything else fair game? Keep in mind, during one email exchange confirmed by Fox News, the chairman, the big guy, in other words, Joe Biden, he was promised an equity stake in the Chinese state-run investment fund to be held by his zero-experience son, Hunter. And Bobulinski also claims, with the corroborating emails and text messages, that Hunter's Chinese counterparts were not interested in a rate of return or making a profit. Instead, they were merely buying influence and access. Why else would you ever do business and pay somebody millions when they have zero experience? It looks like it paid off. Fox News also reporting that Senator Kamala Harris, other prominent Democrats, were listed as key domestic contacts for phase 1 of Hunter Biden's Chinese venture. Now get this, according to the Wall Street Journal, great piece out tonight by Kimberly Strassel. Hunter's Chinese counterparts were closely entwined with the Chinese government, Chinese military, until their entity went bankrupt following U.S. charges of money laundering. And Strassel goes on to report, there is no question that this Chinese entity was buying Hunter for influence. A monumental scandal with only 12 days to go as of midnight is not going to go away just because Joe Biden says, I didn't get a penny. It's just one of many glaring problems surrounding Joe Biden. Now pay attention, because the Biden-Harris campaign has the most radical platform in history. President Trump did a great job of pointing it out tonight. In part, we know where they stand on court packing, statehood for D.C. and elsewhere, no legislative filibuster. As Schumer says, oh, everything's on the table. No more cash bail, redirecting funds away from the police, tax increases on day one, open borders, you heard Biden tonight, an end of the oil and gas industry, Pennsylvania, where you're watching tonight, a false promise of free everything for everyone. These are promises that can never be fulfilled. And look at what happened with Obamacare. Millions of Americans lost their doctors, millions lost their plans, and all of us paid on average 200% more. All a lie. Take a look.
Through the legislature, I terminated the individual mandate. That is the worst part of Obamacare, as we call it. The individual mandate where you have to pay a fortune for the privilege of not having to pay for bad health insurance. Pre-existing conditions will always stay. What I would like to do is a much better health care, much better, will always protect people with pre-existing. Joe Biden is going to terminate all of those policies. These are people that love their health care, people that have been successful, middle-income people, been successful. They have 180 million plans.
Anyone catch that Joe said tonight he was going to replace Obamacare with Biden care? Well, Obamacare failed. Obamacare, well, millions lost their doctor's plan and everyone's paying more, and about 40% of the country only has one Biden-Obamacare option. Wow, I would say that's a losing proposition. Also, the vice president, through his ads, has been telling every American, Donald Trump's going to take away pre-existing conditions. The president set that lie straight tonight. He's going to end Medicare. The president set that lie straight today. Maybe the biggest Biden lie of the night was surrounding the issue of fracking. Take a look.
And what about fracking?
All right, let me allow Vice President Biden to respond.
I never said I oppose fracking.
You said it on tape.
I did show the tape. Put it on your website.
I'll put it on.
Put it on the website. The fact of the matter is he's flat lying.
Would you rule out banning fracking?
I do rule out banning fracking because the answer, we need other industries to transition to get to ultimately a complete zero emissions by 2025.
We'll save all of you at home the hard
guy's,
work. We won't send you to a website. Really, Joe? You don't
burger
remember
short
what
of
he
a
said
Happy
multiple
Meal.
times during the primary? Let's take a short trip down memory lane for the people of Ohio and the people of Pennsylvania and Oklahoma and all the high-paying career jobs in the energy sector. Take a look.
I am not banning fracking, period. But kiddo, I want you to just take a look, okay? You don't have to agree, but I want you to look in my eyes.
Look at this poor
I
person.
guarantee you.
Look at this poor
we're
girl.
gonna end fossil fuel, and I am not
And
gonna
he's lying to her face.
No fracking.
Would there be any place for fossil fuels, including coal and fracking, in a Biden administration?
No, we would work it out. We would make sure it's eliminated and no more subsidies for either one of those.
Will you commit to implementing a federal ban on fracking your first day
Look
in
at this
office?
girl. She's gonna
Add
smile.
the United States to the list of countries who have banned this devastating practice.
There's no question I'm in favor of banning fracking.
Look at her smiling.
Pennsylvania,
Oh, she
he
loves
said
it.
the words, "will eliminate fracking." Also said he's going to get rid of the oil industry tonight, too.
The
Good luck with
radicals
that
love
for all
it.
you people that are working in the energy industry. No fracking. Let's see. Healthcare corruption. The sad career of a lifelong politician. And as the president mentioned numerous times tonight, why didn't you get it done in the 8 years that you were vice president? Why didn't you get it done in the 47 years you've been in Washington? All talk,
Exactly.
no action, typical politician. Well, what did Joe Biden say tonight that would convince you he's the right guy for the job? What about his track record? Donald Trump did criminal justice reform. Donald Trump did more for historically black colleges. He did opportunity zones. He did prison reform. And he set record low after record low unemployment for African Americans, Hispanic Americans, Asian Americans, women in the workplace, youth unemployment, and African American youth unemployment. So why would anyone vote for Biden? And by the way, Joe Biden, I think you will come to regret these words in the next 12 days. Character is on the ballot. Joining us now with reaction to tonight's debate, Fox News contributor, former press secretary Ari Fleischer, along with